It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Oil Stream. Dusty and Tommy with you the morning after the Calgary, it's the afternoon now, after the Calgary Flames fall behind the Edmonton Oilers 3-1 after just another ridiculous game in a series that has been full of crazy moments. The Oil Stream is brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Nothing says 3-1 series lead like a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Every time you bite into a Popeye's chicken sandwich, it feels like you're on the verge of knocking off an opponent. And that's where they're at right now. Tommy, can you believe it?
No, I can't. I just love how you tee up the Popeyes every single show.
There's always a way to fit it in there, man.
Nothing says Popeyes like a 3-1 series lead. Well done.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
it works.
It's hilarious. It's your thing. It's great. I don't know what to say. Like this is a great run for the Oilers right now. Obviously, the work isn't finished, but wow, I don't know how to describe this series besides berserk, weird, strange, fun, exciting, everything that we could have hoped for, and then some. And I can't wait to see what happens Thursday night. I can't wait to see what happens if we have to have a game on Saturday night. It's just unbelievable. And this province has been thirsting for this for so long, and it has lived up to whatever the hell this billing was. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this series going into it, you're like, man, what's going to happen in the Battle of Alberta? Well, in game one, it's going to be a 9-6 game, and Markstrom's going to get chased at some point in the series. Mike Smith's going to allow a goal from the other end of the ice. Archibald and Cassian are almost going to kill each other behind the opposition net. Tkachuk and Gaudreau and Lindholm are only going to be so-so. Evander Kane's going to continue to have one of the best goal-scoring playoffs in history. Leon Draisaitl is going to set an NHL record, and Connor McDavid's going to become the greatest hockey player of all time. Did I pretty much sum that up, Tommy? Like, that's what's happened in the last 4 games.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget, the Oilers' defense is playing well.
Yeah, really well. Really well.
What's going on here?
I know. You're right. That is crazy as well. There's just so much to get to from last night's game. Let's start with this. We talked about it last week. We talked about it, on your pregame show, on my radio show, on the little Oil Stream and Fives I've been dropping to keep that content flow going. Markstrom, he gets yanked in that last game. The Oilers have had an easy time against Markstrom so far this year. Tommy, and I know he bounced back and kept them in it there. A couple really nice saves in the second period to make sure it didn't get too far out of hand. Yep. But my goodness, for him to start that game the way he did, I mean, if you're the Oilers, you could not have scripted it better by starting the Nuge line and scoring a goal just over 20 seconds in last night.
He heals it a la Mike Smith. More egregious than that. It was almost Mikko Koskinen-esque when he goes out and plays a puck. And an absolute gift, man. Like, that is so deflating. And then the Oilers build on that lead. Good for the Flames to bounce back, but Edmonton has Jacob Markstrom's number. They have the book on him. There's something about the Oilers that gets in Markstrom's head clearly, and it's to the point where the Oilers are on the brink of eliminating Markstrom and the Flames. And now all these tie-ins with the Mike Smith story. I know that Pierre LeBrun wrote about it and how Mike Smith thought maybe he was done. The Oilers made that huge pitch to Markstrom. He goes to the Flames, and then Mike Smith comes back to have, like, it's just unbelievable. The amount of storylines and layers to this, and the way these paths are all crossed and intertwined. And then on the ice, the guy that is known for the gaffes and had one in game 1 of the playoffs isn't the one. Well, he did have one last night, but it wasn't puck handling, which is crazy.
I know, that's the crazy part.
Yeah. And it's Jacob Markstrom. It's just, and then it's Nugent Hopkins who has a big game. They have Jacob Markstrom's number, Dusty. You pointed it out last week on the Oil Stream. They had touched him up for 5+ basically every game.
Pretty much every time.
They would have done it if they didn't yank him in game 3, and they had 4 against them, and then they get 4 again yesterday. Like, they've got his number. It's fact. They've got his number.
Let's continue with this Markstrom conversation for a second then, Tommy, because, they've scored a bunch of goals on him. I don't know if I'm going to put exactly where the Flames are in this series 100% on him, though. So, how much of where the Flames are at, how much of that blame should fall on the shoulders of Markstrom?
Okay,
a chunk of it, but not all of it, right?
I would say like at least like 40% of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you need some run support. They tied it up. They gave him run support in game 1, absolutely. But yeah, like he gave them a chance to make it happen. And then, you know, the Oilers grease a goal in 3 minutes left to play. I don't know, 40%. 40% of it is on Markstrom. Like the Oilers are scoring nice goals on him. The first one yesterday, not so much, but yeah, they know how to score on him, and they're hustling for their goals, Dusty. There aren't a lot of them where we're like, wow, that was a terrible goal. Again, the first one last night, but
wasn't even the worst goal of the night, though. So don't have to worry about that.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was bad though. I mean, there was a couple of bad ones. Like, so Mike Smith, let's transition to Mike Smith here, because I thought Mike Smith early in that game, and as we worked through it, 2 or 3 really good saves moving from his right to his left, or left to right. Like the mobility that he had, the lateral movement. When Mike Smith's off his game, you know, it's more of a flop on my belly and not get across type of thing and just hope and reach. I thought he was moving well last night. There was a lot of good in Mike Smith's game last night. Second goal he probably wants back. It looked like he had it and then didn't think he had it, and it kind of snuck through him. And then obviously there's the third goal, which I don't know if any goaltender in the history of the league has breathed a bigger sigh of relief at an end of a playoff game than that one. Like you're in there. You'd gone back to get ready for post game. Yes. You're in that building, and the entire place was silent when that puck went in, because everybody was just like, what the hell just happened? And that was not in the regular seat. Like, that is a bad goal in minor hockey, let alone in game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, or game 4, when you have a chance to go up 3-1 and it ties the game at 3 in the third period. And I know he said after, you know, we can laugh about it, and he's right. I mean, we can all kind of laugh about it now. I mean, your post show last night, I would have got 2,000 text messages this morning on my show if they lose that game. And I think the sense was in the building, you're like, oh shit, like this is how series change on something stupid like that. Yep. Yet the team kind of bounced back. So what'd you think of the goal? And then we'll talk about the opportunity that it led for this team to show that they've got great composure right now.
Every time you watch a goal, you know, we watch the replays and we try to figure out how it happened and where the mistake was made. That one was just like a clearing attempt. And like some people were saying, I was talking to Matt Cassidy, and he goes, well, Duck and Keith ducked. And Smith was screened from 100 feet out. It's like, that makes no sense, but I kind of know what you mean. It was stunning. It was the perfect shot. Yeah, that's one that could be a backbreaker, but I never felt that the Oilers got down when that one went in. It seemed like they just went back to work, and there was this sense of they were going to be okay. And sure enough, they were, which is odd, because in years past, if something like that happened where a team was a bit fragile and had just coughed up a 3-goal lead, you knew it was over. But the feeling yesterday, at least my sense of it, was I think they're going to be okay. Like, that was messed up. There's been a lot of messed up shit happening in this series. Just add that one to the list of messed up things that happened in this series, honestly, and move on. And they did, and they scored. And like, it's good that we can laugh about it. And the text that we were getting last night on the post-game show, we're calling it the Tommy Salo moment. Tommy Salo didn't win that game against Belarus. Tommy Salo came back to the NHL and was never the same.
It also went right off Tommy Salo's head.
Yeah, exactly. And he talked about how that was life-changing, that goal that he allowed. And for Mike Smith, you're right, a sigh of relief, because they go and win the game, and you can laugh about it. So it's not the same. But so I was reluctant to read some of those Tommy Salo texts. I think I read a couple of them, but I
heard a couple,
yeah, and I was like, that's kind of the same, but at the same time,
but they got the win, right? These guys got the win.
Yeah, and Mike Smith has the mental fortitude to probably get past it. So, holy shit. What the hell were we
I think that's exactly what I said last night to Iwanek when it went in. I was stunned. And, you know, part of me wants, well, I know I'm going to sit here and say you're not going to see that again for years in the National Hockey League playoffs. It's a one-off. It's a fluke. But at the same time, that can't happen ever again.
Yeah.
You got to be able to pick that up somewhere along the way. And you could tell he didn't see it till last second because he was. And I had people texting in today and say, Dusty, how about Smith trying to place the blame on somebody else for putting his hands up? I said, that's not what he was doing. He was putting his hands up in the air being like, I just didn't see it. Like, I didn't miss it. He wasn't blaming it. And we know he has a tendency to do that. I get it. But in that situation, Tommy, to me, that was just what the hell just happened kind of arms in the air. Like, yeah.
That went in.
I cannot believe that happened last night.
Yeah.
All right. So Nuge to the rescue. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scores early in the game, gifted by Markstrom, and then goes to the net, finds a loose puck, bangs it in for the winner to save Mike Smith's bacon, to give the team full control of this series. And I mean, Tommy, you've basically been covering this team the entire time that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been a member of the Edmonton Oilers. I remember going to the draft when they selected him with the first overall pick. He's been here for, 8 coaches or whatever it is now. Like the true ultimate survivor, on pace to play the most games in Oilers history by the time it's all said and done. But he hadn't had that moment prior to last night. And I just feel good for that guy when he buried that one. It was funny because he buried it and he turned around like to sell it. It looked like he wanted to go on a run, but who was right there? Yamamoto was right there or whatever. Yeah. And so he was kind of just kind of almost a similar spot, I think, to celebration-wise to where he got his first goal back in the day. But anyway, just good for that guy to have that moment.
He is my favorite person on that team. I've liked him since day one. I was there the day he got drafted. He is a very good human being. His wife is a fantastic person. They are just great people. And he's one of the people I sincerely root for. And I've said it on the pre and post game show. He is salt of the earth. And when he gets knocked for a poor performance, he deserves it. When he gets praised for good performance, he deserves it. And for him to have a moment like that, rise to the occasion, deliver in the most crucial time and one of the most important times in franchise history is fitting and good for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And now he has a bunch of confidence, Dusty, going into game 5. And all of a sudden, the Oilers have a powerhouse top line. They've got a second line that's contributing, a guy that they need to play important minutes and has played important minutes. He played the most of everybody, I believe, on the Oilers last night. And he's been logging 20-plus minutes a night the last few games. This is great. It all comes full circle, and it's great. So it's good to see. This is one of the guys I actually legitimately root for and hope has success. And it was very nice to see that last night. And then to see the city and people in the building give him the Nuge.
Hyman gave him fantastic. The Nuge. Yeah, Hyman after on the mic there on the ice was Nuge. Everybody's Nuging. They love this guy. With that being said, I mean, there's a lot of people, even through these playoffs, are like, Nuge, they got to do more than this. Oh, when they lose game 1 to Calgary, it's like, oh, you got to move Nuge to keep Kane around and all this. But let's just lay it out here for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He has an opportunity now with Draisaitl up on that top line to step up here and do something. He's doing that with Zach Hyman and Puljujärvi. I know it was a nice little move there by Woodcroft to get Yamamoto out there late in the game. I thought mostly it was for defensive reasons, to be honest with you. And then Yamamoto makes a nice play, finds Barry. Barry puts it on net. But the Nuge, Hyman, Puljujärvi line, they were hemmed in a little bit last night, but they didn't give up anything. So I think that was a positive. Yamamoto and McLeod are going on that other line. But Nugent-Hopkins is leading your team in ice time last night. He's first over the boards on the penalty kill. He's an integral part of that power play. Like I just don't know sometimes because he doesn't crash and bang and blow everybody up. I feel like sometimes he might still be a little bit underappreciated in this market. And he took a relatively decent contract to stay here, Tommy.
Right. And there are some haters on him. And I know we've got one guy who texts our station all the time, just hates Nuge. And he brings it up to me every time Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has a tough game. There's a reason why the players speak so highly of him. There's a reason why whatever head coach he has speaks so highly of him. It's because he's a very good National Hockey League player. I guarantee you 31 other teams would be like, that guy fits into our top 6. We can make it work.
That's a good point. He would fit in on pretty much every top 6. You're right, man. That's the truth.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. There's a reason why he's part of the leadership group. There's a reason why they talk so highly of him. He's He's very, very good, and it's nice to see him rewarded for all that hard work.
20 points in his last 19 playoff games as well over the last 3 years. So that's pretty impressive for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as well. Was asked this question today on my show, Tommy, and hesitated a little bit to come up with an answer, but I'm going to throw your way right now. Who's been the best player on the Calgary Flames so far in this series?
Oh, jeez.
That's telling, isn't it? The fact that we're all like, I'm not sure.
I like Michael Backlund's been good.
Buddy,
you know,
I asked Rashad the same question. I had the same answer, and you just did the exact same thing. We all went, Backlund, I guess?
Yeah.
By default, almost.
Right. I mean, Lindholm has had a couple of nice plays. Gaudreau, MIA, Kachuk, outside of that first game where he had the Hattie, he's not getting anything done. Mangiapane, I haven't even noticed out there.
Yeah.
Coleman's biggest play was when he created the turnover on the first goal in Game 3. It's just, I don't know if it's the Oilers stymieing these guys or these guys just not rising to the occasion. But seriously, like Michael Backlund looks like he's doing something out there. He scored that goal. I like the way he took the puck to the net. I like the way he carried it in. He's feisty, tenacious. He wins faceoffs. They're dominating the Oilers in the faceoff dot this series, and Michael Backlund's a big part of that. So, I mean, Michael Backlund?
Yeah. Basically, what we're saying here is a few guys on Calgary are going to need to step it up if they're going to actually come back in this series. And look, I don't want to sit here this morning or this afternoon and say it's over, because you never know. But I will say this, Tommy, I have a hard time believing that Calgary team can win 3 straight games against Connor McDavid. Like, I just feel like Connor McDavid, I would be shocked if he loses 3 straight games to the Calgary Flames. And I know it's not just the one guy. We've talked about that and we debated it for the last 2 days in this city, and it's the rest of the team around him, but it's McDavid that drives it. And I just refuse to believe that dude's going to lose 3 straight games to Calgary.
Yeah, with the way the team is playing, with the little tweaks that Jay Woodcroft and Dave Manson and Glenn Gulletson have made to the system against Calgary, it's stacked against the Flames. I'm as stunned as anybody, but this is the Battle of Alberta. There's magic in it, and craziness ensues, and we've witnessed exactly that. Unbelievable.
All right, let's get into your Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. He is a Remax Hall of Famer. Why would you sell your home or buy a home with somebody who's not a Hall of Famer? I'll just sit back and wait. It makes no sense. No sense. Go for the best. This guy's the best. 780-993-4815. He also has 3 spots at my Crack Pack break later on today, so he loves that as well. Visit his website, kenrmorrison.com. It's mostly just a bunch of his hockey cards and a little bit of a realty site as well, so you can do that. Tommy, what's the question today?
Okay, the Ken Morrison Remax Excellence question of the day is this, Dusty Nielsen. We've seen a lot of guys rise to the occasion for the Oilers in this series, but who is Edmonton's unsung hero against the Calgary Flames so far?
Tommy, this might be one of my favorite Ken Morrison questions that you've asked. You've asked a lot of good ones. I'm not saying you've asked shit questions, but this is a really good one. I haven't even thought about this much myself. I mean, if you look at it so far, you know, McDavid's doing historic things. Dreisaitl's got, 3 points in 4 straight. Evander Kane's got 5 2-goal games or better so far. Hyman's been a stud. Man, this is a good question. I wonder if we end up going with the same guy. I'm going to go with Brett Kulak as the unsung hero. How often has anybody been texting into your post game? I haven't seen it all on my show. Have they bitched about Tyson Barrie? Because the lack of bitching about Tyson Barrie is on Kulak, in my opinion. So he has made this third pair reliable in pretty much any situation, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Kulak. Who are you going with?
I like the Kulak pick, and I'll give, you know what? God bless you. You got Kulak, and that was going to be my pick too, but that's why we do this. Because of how well Kulak has played, I will give Tyson Barrie props because he's contributed at key moments, sets up the goal yesterday. We haven't been bitching about him, like you said. He's +3, I believe, in the last 3 games. Not the plus minus is the be all and end all of anything, but he has risen to the occasion in these playoffs. I really feel like he has stepped up. And yes, a big chunk of it is Brett Kulak, who has been a fantastic addition. So to support your Brett Kulak pick, I will say Tyson Barrie as unsung hero. That blue line, very good so far. Very good.
But, the entire blue line essentially is kind of unsung because they're flying under the radar here, I think. Like we have not had a situation like we did against the Kings where we're on here the day after saying Keith and Bouchard are an absolute mess. Right. Like everybody's done their job so far, and Kulak and Barrie is something that you don't have to worry about when they're on the ice. Like Kulak, they got to keep that guy around, man. I was talking with a few guys in the press box last night, and they're kind of throwing around that he wants 4 years. I don't think you can give him 4 years, but I'd be totally okay with 3 years and maybe an extra $100K or $200K or something to get that done. Because I think about you know what, actually, now that I think about it, if Duncan Keith's only got 1 year left, Nurse, Kulak for 3 or 4 years, and then you work in your Brobergs and those guys, maybe you could do 4 years, $8 million. You think he would take 4 years, $8 million? It got to be more than that, do you think?
I think you'd consider it. I mean, this is going to be probably the biggest contract of his career, right?
Yeah. He's 4 years, $9 million might get it done. 2.2. Yeah, that might get it done.
You don't want to make bank. Local guy though, so you might be able to convince him to take a hometown discount.
I think he's a big part of it though. I loved watching him last year with the Habs on that run. I watched every single game of that run, and same thing here. Like just steady minutes, and that's what he's capable of bringing. That's your Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. 2 other places I want to go before we wrap up, Tommy, and of course we'll have another full episode on Friday with the Oil Stream. We'll be breaking down whatever the hell happens in Game 5, and watch for those Oil Stream in 5 little snippets. They're usually never 5 minutes. They're more about 7 and 8 because I can't shut up. But Cassian and Archibald, have you ever seen 2 teammates hit each other? Like you've seen teammates look the other way and run into each other heavy. Yeah. But have you ever seen 2 guys blow each other up like that?
No. And on top of that, they missed the biggest target on the ice too in Zadorov. Like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, they're both dead. And good on Archibald. He got up, and Cassian was the one that was actually worse for wear. But, he talked to TD Force and he was good to go after that. But man, those are 2 good hitters that when they're going full steam and they come and they cross like that, man. And you miss Nikita Zadorov of all people, just again, add it to the list of crazy shit we've seen in the 4 games in this series so far. That was unbelievable.
It's not even like Zadorov dodged out of the way. He kind of sort of just was turning slightly and they just both boom. It was, man, that could have been so much worse. That could have been so much worse.
I yelled "whoa" in the press box.
Yeah, so I was like, "Whoa!" I usually our reactions are pretty subdued. Like if there's a goal, I mean, there's not much reaction. They're kind of just looking at it. You're looking down at who got it. You're looking at the replay, whatever. But that they hit each other behind the net, and I grabbed Iwanik's arm, and I was just like, "Oh!" And one of the guys sitting on the other side of Iwanik kind of looked at me, but I was just like, "Come on, man, that was hilarious! Like I can't believe that happened. Like that was." My God. That was insane. That was nuts. Yeah. All right, let's wrap up with this. I don't know if you saw it. Well, you probably saw it for sure last night. The kid who'd climbed up on top of the video screen and chugged the Mickey of whiskey. Did you see the videos popping up today or the pictures popping up today?
No. How did he do?
Well, unless they're photoshopped. I think I saw one of the Nation guys tweet him out. He puked while he was up on top there down onto the crowd.
Oh, no. I
swear to God. I don't even want to retweet the pictures, but I saw it right before we came on. I can't remember if it was the Nation or maybe it was Zach Lang over at the Nation or somebody.
Oh, boy.
Somebody tweeted it out, and buddy, it was and then there was a picture of him kind of leaning up against the wall and a security guard or a cop talking to him, and he just looked dead to the world. But pre-puke, that would have been, and I mean, I'm not up for the climbing. I'm not saying climb on stuff. They got the spikes on there. But that dude was living his best life for about half an hour probably. And then, you got to go find the picture. Look, it looks like he's puking down onto the ground.
Oh, my God.
Oh, poor bugger. And everybody below him, just gross.
Oh, I love.
It's only the
having
second
fun.
round, man.
I went out for some sodas last night with DVD just to celebrate.
Yeah.
A good show and the city having a good time, obviously. And I said at the end of the show, it's like, hey, enjoy it, have fun, don't hurt yourself, and don't hurt anybody else, and don't be.
Didn't you say mix in the water? I heard
said
a few.
Mix in the water, of course.
Yeah.
So listen, have fun, enjoy it. Just don't do stupid shit. And don't chug a ball of whiskey or a Mickey of whiskey on top of a Ice District sign that has pigeon spikes on it, and then puke on people. That's no bueno. That's a niche.
Yeah. We'll see if they can do a better job. It's the second round, man. Like, what happens if they get to the? I was joking, if they get to the Stanley Cup final, which is a very tall task, there'd be people climbing down the side of Rogers Place from the roof. Like, it's going to be nuts.
Can I just remembered this. I can't believe I forgot this. So we had that moment. Derek Van Diest from Post Media and I was just like, okay, let's go grab a beer. You know, people are in a good mood, and you know, I had a good show, felt good. So you want to have a social spot. Yeah. So we went to Kelly's. I witnessed last night a Flames fan guy propose to an Oilers fan, his now fiance, right at the table next to us. And it was all Oiler fans and him and his buddies and her girlfriends. And they were all in Oilers jerseys. He was the lone guy in a Flames jersey. And he chose to propose at like 12:54 on a Tuesday in Edmonton after game 4.
Did he have the ring?
He had the ring. And like, we look and I see there's a guy taking video, and like people just started looking, and he proposed to her. She's like, yes. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what is happening right now? And so the crew from Kelly's gave them a bottle of champagne. They were taking pictures. She was taking pictures of the ring, sending it to all her friends. And I was just like, what? And then like we said congratulations to him. And in my mind, I'm like, how is that the moment where you're like, I'm going to do it? Battle of Alberta, baby. Battle of Alberta.
Hey, look. If there's going to be a bunch of babies popping up in 9 months, you might as well at least be engaged, my man. Simple as that.
Oh, my goodness. Be safe.
Yeah. Be safe and have fun. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
all right, that's going to do it for another episode of the Oil Stream. The Edmonton Oilers are 1 win away from finishing off the Calgary Flames on the Battle of Alberta. Long way to go, maybe 60 minutes, maybe a couple of games, who knows, but they're in a pretty good spot here to finish this thing off. Tommy, what time do you get rolling tomorrow with the pregame?
6 o'clock, hour and a half show. Hallelujah for these 7:30 starts.
Yeah, the early ones.
Jason Gregor's all over betting on these, and it's hilarious and true.
All right, there you go for our presenting sponsor, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, and Ken Morrison and the Ken Morrison Remax question of the day. He's Tommy Gazzola. I'm Dustin Nielsen. I'll be back on the air tomorrow morning getting you ready for the game, all the way down to Tommy and the pregame on TSN at 1260. Thank you very much for watching the Oil Stream. If you're not yet subscribed to the podcast, please do so. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Leave a comment. That would be great as well. Tommy, enjoy a couple of days, and I'll talk to you and see you on Friday, my man.
Sounds good, Dusty. Ciao for now.